Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, right here on Raise the Praise 100. Make sure you download the app, Raise the Praise 100, or listen to us online, raisethepraise100.com. 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. Once again, that's 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. Follow me on Twitter at Big Sarge Sports. That's with a Z at the end because I'm black and that's just how I do it. And y'all know what time it is. It's Pente Thursday. Look, I'm getting better. Y'all know how, when Young Cody's here, he got all these names. Young Cody, a.k.a. Slim Jimmy Timmy, a.k.a. 444, a.k.a. Always on Fridays. No, wait. Sometimes on Fridays, never on Saturdays. Tiger King. You know how he has that? That's how I feel about doing the Petty Thursdays. Petty Thursday. Hey, hey, hey. Oh my God, I know someone is like moved away from their apparatus. Like, what is wrong with Big Sarge today? You know what? I just feel good. So for those of you all who don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And you all know that I'm a huge advocate for mental health. And so this morning I was going through some things, but I posted some things out there on social media so I could, get it out of my system, but also put it out there to help someone else. But May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and right here on Saturday we will have a panel that will be sitting in here and we'll be talking about tough. Who decides that and what makes a man tough and what makes a young boy tough. And then, some of the older school guys that are being here, do we need to bring our old school ways into this new school society? Does it work? Does it not work? What works? What doesn't work? So we'll be here talking about problems, but we'll also be talking about solutions. So tough right here. Right here. Who decides that on Raise the Praise 100, Saturday, May 15th, 1 to 4 p.m. Make sure you chime in. But I said that to say this. When I was at my old station doing Sports Talk with Big Sarge, one thing that I loved about it was they had this huge window that the board sat right in front of it. So I would sit there and, do 3 hours worth of a show and just talk, but I would look out the window. I was always looking out the window. And so I used to tell people, they'd be like, how many people you be having in that studio with you? I was like, well, if Young Cody doesn't come in, it doesn't be anybody. It's like, I swear for goodness, you are talking to like people in that studio and things like that. It's like, dog, it's the window. It's the window, being able to look out. So in this studio that I'm in now, God has blessed me to be right in front of a window. And it helps me so much because it just like my view is endless. Like I can't see to wherever it ends. And so I just look out the window and I just talk. When it's just me in the studio by myself, I just look out the window and talk. And that's so therapeutic. When I got out of the military, and I returned, I came back here and I had got a job at one point. And so while I was working, first they had me in a cubicle. And then they said, no, somebody's leaving. If you want to take the desk by the window, you can. And so they put me by the window. And then one day my supervisor came to me and she said, you work so well. Like you just, you do so much. And especially when you're sitting over here, you just get things done. I said, ma'am, it's the window. I said, because as long as no matter what's going on, if I can look out the window, it helps me. And so for a lot of people who deal with mental health issues, if you can get them by a window just to be able to look out, that's all. And that's what helps me so much. It helps me to cope. If I was in a studio with no windows, I would probably go crazy. At my house, I will sit. I have my couch is right near the patio where I can sit on the end of the couch and look out of the window. Sometimes I've been in my house sitting in there for 3-4 hours, no TV on, no radio, no social media, none of that. And I'm just looking out the window. That's it. I'm just looking out the window. And it's so therapeutic. So that's what I love about, being here at this studio and being able to, that's why I get so energetic. That's why you hear me, hold on, time. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though. Don't let me lie to y'all because I'm just loud, period. Okay. I'm loud, period, when I'm doing this type of stuff or when I'm out. I'm loud. I used to tell people in the military all the time, they be like, why are you so loud? I'm like, I'm from Texas. Everything is big in Texas. We do everything big in Texas. I am from the United States of Texas. Da, 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 da. I mean, they make us do a Texas pledge, right? You might as well. I got Texas tatted on my arm. I ain't got Houston on my back, though. Some of you all get that. But, yeah, I have that. I should have done that. I have that. I have Texas tatted on my arm and got Houston on my back. Now, that's a Slim Thug song. Some of y'all will get that. Some of y'all won't. All right. Moving right along. It's Petty Thursday. Yeah. That's how they do in the jazz clubs, huh? Yeah. All right, on last night, the Astros won 9-1. 5 home runs, a season high. It was a really good game. I was there. I was like, wow. It got started. Look, in my article that I wrote, I said Dusty Baker must have known something was going to go good because on the first pitch that Jose Altuve seen, he's the leadoff hitter. The very first pitch, out the park, Crawford boxes. That was the first of 5 home runs. And so they ended up beating the Los Angeles Angels last night by a score of 9-1. That's their second series that they've won at home. They're on the current homestand. They're on the 10-game homestand. They've played 6 games already. They're 4-2. And today they open up a 4-game homestand against the Texas Rangers. So here's the interesting part about the Houston Astros. Because early on this year, Houston lost, I think they went on a 6-game losing streak, and everybody started to panic. And, Dusty said, hey, calm down. It's a long season. Alex Bregman said, hey, calm down. It's a long season. And it is. And it's a very long season. They're not playing a shortened pandemic season like they did last year. They are playing a full season. And so, they got over that hump of losing that 6 games, and now they're back to, they're almost back to playing Astros baseball. I think they're 3 games over 500. And so they're currently behind the Oakland Athletics, which they play coming up here pretty soon. They have 10 games. They have 10 games at home. They opened up 3 games against the Toronto Blue Jays, but then after that, they played 13 straight games against the interdivisional opponents. And so they played 3 games last night they played 3 games against the Los Angeles Angels. And then I think they played 4 games against the Rangers. And I think they play the Oakland A's and then the Angels again or something like that. But they got 13 straight games. And so every game, I even asked manager Dusty Baker about that, about playing them. He's like, it's almost like a 2-for-1. If you win, you gain. If you lose, you lose. So you've got, especially against these type of opponents. But here's the interesting thing. In the 6 games that the Astros have played at home, they scored 39 runs, hit 12 home runs, and had 63 hits. 39 runs, 12 home runs, and 63 hits. That's really good for a team that people were complaining about. That's really good for a team that people were complaining about, thinking that they couldn't, get themselves going, and they have. And, Kyle Tucker said on last night that if I was an opponent, I would really be fearful of having to play us because we have, we got good bats, from the top of the lineup all the way to the bottom of the lineup. And now the bottom of the lineup may not look as well. Kyle Tucker is only hitting maybe 206, 210 or something like that. And he raised that during his homestand. He was at one point, I think he was like at 175. And so he's raised that. His bat has gotten hot. He's currently on a 4-game hitting streak himself. And I think he's hit, back-to-back homers? But that bottom of the lineup with Kyle Tucker and Miles Straw and, Maldonado, and when they put Castro in, they haven't been doing as well, but they're getting better. As the season goes on, they're getting better. You can tell Kyle Tucker's starting to come along, but they have a really dangerous lineup. So, like I said, they did really good, 4-2 in this current 10-game homestand. They'll be back at Minute Maid Park tonight against the Texas Rangers. The Rockets lost another one. 124-122 to the Lakers. They'll be back in action on tomorrow. The last home game tomorrow at Toyota Center will be against the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know what can be said about the Rockets that I have not said already. I don't. I don't know what I can say about the Rockets that I have not said already about them. They hustle hard. They compete hard. Yes, they're the worst team in the league right now. I get that. Yes, they are the worst team in the NBA. And no, we won't talk about all the adversity that they went through. It's well documented on what they've been through. But another game of the team competing, another game of the team playing hard. So you got to give it up to them for that at least. You got to at least give it up to the Rockets for being able to compete and play hard. All right. NFL released a schedule on yesterday. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show today. We'll talk about the Texans schedule, and we'll talk about the Cowboys schedule. And I'll tell you why I don't like the Cowboys schedule. I'll tell you why I don't like the Cowboys schedule. And I'll let you know why. The Texans have one primetime game. They got no Monday Night Football. And the Cowboys play 5 primetime games, and they have a Monday Night Football game. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys opened up the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. So they have the very first game. And so, like I said, I'll tell you why I don't like what's going on with the Cowboys schedule. We're about to take a break. When we come back, you already know what time it is. I'll make that stick, so you might as well get ready for it, because young Cody told me the other day that I can't carry a note in a bucket, but I can. I'm not gonna let Cody talk to me like that no more. Am I? I probably will. Young Cody is hilarious. I will say that. That's the one thing that I love about young Cody. He's really good, and he'll let me know, like, Sarge, you ain't no good. I'll be like, hey man, watch how you talk to me. I'm your elder. You're tuning in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back. You're tuning in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, right here on, y'all heard it, P-E to the T-T-Y. P-E to the T-T-Y. I'm petty. Yeah, I'm petty. It's Petty Thursday right here on Raise the Praise 100. 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. Once again, that's 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. Hey, listen to us on raisethepraise100.com or download the app, Raise the Praise 100. I wonder if I could make it. If I was like a Quiet Storm DJ, be like, hey, tune into Quiet Storm. Your host, Big Sarge. Ladies, I know you're out there all alone right now because it's not Valentine's Day. So let me, Big Sarge, be your Valentine. All right now we're going to play a little something by Babyface or Keith Sweat. Both of them seem to beg very well. We're going to make sure that we follow that up with a little Johnny Gill. And then we're going to get to the ultimate beggar at all, Teddy P. Turn out the lights. Ow! And light a candle. And then we're going to end that with the platinum beggar of all time, Lenny Williams. 'Cause I love you. I need. Ooh. Lenny said, I'll play my records till I didn't want to play my records no more. He said, you know, maybe you've never been in love like I've been in love. And maybe you never felt the way that I felt. But you know, sometimes it get lonely. It get lonely. It gets lonely. Oh, and I cry. I cry. Oh. See, I told you. When you listen to Sports Talk with Big Sarge, you never know what you're going to get. Never, ever know what you're going to get. Lenny Williams is the ultimate beggar, right? But that's what if I was the Quiet Storm DJ, it'd probably be like that. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into some of this petty stuff that I got going on right here on Petty Thursday, because that was petty. That was very petty. All right, so look, let me tell you something that I don't like while I'm at sporting events. Because I think that, you know, like when you go to sporting events, when you go to a baseball game, football game, basketball game, when you go to these type of sporting events, you know, you want to go there. And not only do you want to watch the game, you want to enjoy a little bit of whatever they're doing at halftime or, you know, when in between innings, you know, or how they may pan, you know, they have these little giveaways that they do and they have these little games that they play. But the one thing that I don't like while I'm at games, public marriage proposals. I don't like marriage proposals at sporting events, and I just don't like public marriage proposals. And let me tell you why I don't like public marriage proposals. It puts a lot of pressure on the woman. It puts a lot of pressure on the woman to say yes. And I think that that's a very weak move by a lot of guys. I'm not saying all guys. I'm not saying all guys. I'm not saying every guy. But I do think that it's a very weak move by some guys because she may love you. She may have talked about marrying you one day. But now you're putting her on the spot in front of all these people. And now that we have social media, she has no choice but to say yes. Because if she says no, she's going to get drugged through social media. Everybody around her going to be like, oh, I can't believe you did him like that. Why would you do him like that? Why? He deserves better. It's a weak move. And I feel like it puts a lot of pressure. And I don't want to see it at sporting events. I don't want to look up on the Jumbotron and somebody has the ring out, will you marry me? Listen, full disclosure. I root for the woman to say no. I'm just saying. I do. I root for the woman to say no. I want her to say, I want her to say it. No, I want to say no. I want to say it loud. I want her to embarrass you because you're putting her on the spot and you're putting a lot of pressure on her. I don't care. You get down on one knee at the mall. That's a lot of pressure. You get down on one knee in the restaurant. That's a lot of pressure. Everybody is watching. And some women can't handle that. Some women can't handle saying no to you because they don't want the blowback. They don't want the perception of they're a bad person. And it's almost like you trick them into doing it. You trick them into saying yes. Hey, I all this time. And ladies, hold on, time out before I even get into that. Ladies, you should know that it's coming. You know what? Call in 346-355-0100. Call in, at me on Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Let me know. Do you feel like you, as a woman, that you know when there's a proposal coming? Like, as a single woman, can you tell when you're about to be proposed to? And do you want it done in a public place? Because I think you would want it in private, but if it's done in public, I hope that you say no. Because, like I said, I can discuss, I can discuss with you getting a brand new Mercedes-Benz. That don't mean I'm going to show up at your door and be like, well, you remember we had talked about me getting a Mercedes and you said, yeah, man, I think that'd be a good idea. I probably can help you out with that. Well, I need you to help me out with it right now. No, I don't want to put pressure on you like that. And that's what you guys do. You put pressure on the woman to say yes. And like I said, not only for petty purposes, just for me being, petty purposes, of course, me being me, of course. And the third thing is, I just want you to be embarrassed like you're trying to embarrass her. I guarantee you, I bet you if we polled like about 30 to 35 women who have been proposed to in public, I guarantee you there's probably about at least 22 to 24 of them that said, I really wanted to say no, but maybe that's why engagements don't last long. Maybe that's why those public, those public proposals, marriage proposals, I wonder how long they last, because she'll probably say yes in front of everybody and then pick a fight or do something to break up. Also, it's been Thursday right here on Raise the Praise 100 Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I could also see her saying no because she's like, why would you do this to me? Like, I'm here with you, but you my main dude. I love you, but I got side dudes too that's gonna see this. And if I say yes to you, like they ain't even know nothing about you, Brad. Like Brad, they didn't even know you existed. You know where they think I'm at right now? They think I'm at my mama's house. I told them, I lied to them and said that my mom went to the grocery store. She came home and she had a fever, so she thinks she may have COVID. So they think that I'm got a mask on, and I got on that what's that little suits that they wear? I got on that whole list. They think I'm at my mama's house taking care of her because she may or may not have COVID. And now you gonna put me on blast like this? You know how many lies I had to tell just to be able to go on this date? What are you doing, Brad? Get up off of one knee. Will you marry me? I ain't got no choice. Now you done made me lose all my other dudes. That's just. All right. Here's another thing that I was thinking about. Well, not really. It's pretty weird. Petty Thursday right here. We're going to get to some sports, but you know how I do it. Listen, I have a different type of show, right? I have a different type of sports show, and this is nothing against any other sports show that you may listen to. But this is how I do it. I like to mix in sports and entertainment and pettiness and seriousness. Like, I'm like a gumbo, even though I can't eat gumbo. But I'm like a gumbo, though. I'm a mixture of everything, and it's going to taste good with some brown rice or some white rice or whatever. So you're going to get a little bit of everything right here. That's why I always ask y'all, hey, man, just give me a couple of minutes. I think you'll really enjoy it. So how many of you all know Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephas? I mean, you probably wouldn't know him because he was a rookie last year, and he only had 20 catches for 349 yards and 2 touchdowns. You probably would not know who he is. But if you ever get a chance or opportunity anytime today, I need you to Google Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephus. 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 Quintez Cephus. Google that name. It's going to pop up and it's going to say Detroit Lions wide receiver. And then you know what you're going to find if you scroll down just a little bit more? Ex-girlfriend of Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephus says that him and her best friend broke into her house and stole items from her. Yeah. No. Oh, hold on. Y'all didn't hear it? Let me say it again. Google Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephus. Cephus. Google him. Scroll down a little bit, and in the headlines, you're gonna find somewhere it says ex-girlfriend of Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephus says that him and her best friend broke into her house and stole things. Oh, you got to look it up because we're on a gospel Christian radio station. And the words that this young lady used, I cannot repeat right here. I don't even know if I would repeat them, even if I could, because, she dogged him out. The best friend had a key to the house. And so the best friend and him went to the house and took some items out, which, okay, it's Petty Thursday, right? And Big Sarge is definitely going to become a relationship counselor here sometime soon. And I'm purposely not saying that young lady's name. I'm purposely not saying the ex-girlfriend's name. But let me tell you something, young lady. I just asked women, can you tell when a man is about to propose to you? There's signs, right? Women have this intuition where they know things. Like they know things. And so for your best friend or your ex-best friend to break into your house with your ex-boyfriend, hey, I'm gonna need you to put two and two together. They're sleeping together. Maybe Kevin Samuels should have told you. First of all, on a scale of 1 to 10, you are -2. That you should have known that you had no chance with the professional NFL player. Look at yourself. You don't even believe in you. You got low self-esteem, and this is self-esteem about you. You don't even believe in yourself, but look at you. And then you're going to think that those two are just hanging out? He couldn't have always been out buying you gifts with your best friend, could he? But look at you. Now you're all upset and crying, and you're all on Twitter using profanity towards this young man. And why? You should have known that from the get-go. That's my best Kevin Samuels voice. I really can't do Kevin Samuels, although I think that he's very hilarious and entertaining. I wouldn't use some of the words that he used, but he's very entertaining. Anyway, so the ex-boyfriend, which is Quintez Cephus, Detroit Lions wide receiver, and the ex-best friend, I'm pretty sure the ex-best friend broke into this young lady's house, stole stuff from her. And I'm saying to myself, they probably a couple now. Don't be surprised if they have a baby coming up here a little bit later on. He was sleeping with both of y'all. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see. Look, as soon as I read the headline and found out the two people involved that broke into your house, I could have told you that. She ain't your friend. They've been sleeping together for a long time. And for him to be able to convince her to break into your house too, they sleeping together. Come on now. Here's where it gets interesting. This is where I bring it back to a sports perspective. Isn't that kind of like violating some type of personal code of conduct by breaking into this lady's house? Because you know, in the NFL now, in the NFL, you don't have to be criminally charged in order to be disciplined by the league. That's why Deshaun Watson may not play for at least the first half of this NFL season. And what I mean by may not play, not because he doesn't want to play for the Texans. The Texans could trade him tomorrow. The Texans could trade him tomorrow. And the league is still going to suspend him because he's doing too much. There's too much surrounding him. And I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty. I just know he's being sued in civil court. They're trying to bring, the attorney is trying to bring to help bring criminal charges against him. And so, but for the NFL, it doesn't even matter. Your name is out there too much now. Like your name is out there, Deshaun Watson. And because your name is out there and you're associated with a team in the NFL, the Shield ain't gonna have that. They don't care who you are. They'll give you a little leeway because your name brings ratings. Your name put fans in the seats. Your talent makes your teams that you go to better, but they're going to be like, well, we still going to have to suspend you because that's the rules. And so when it comes to wide receiver Quintez Cephas from the Detroit Lions, like, even if it's just out there that he broke into this young lady's house with another young lady, like, they got to suspend him, right? Like, he has to be suspended. I don't think they have a choice. And, I mean, he should just be suspended for stupidity. Why would you do that? Now you letting your ex-girl know that you got a new girl, which is her ex-best friend, and y'all been together. Y'all probably, if she had a key to that woman's house, y'all already know. You already know. If she got a key to that woman's house, they done a little something at the house while she wasn't there. He probably has intentionally flew her somewhere, like took her, like say, hey, here, you can go somewhere, gave her money to go shopping, just enough time so I'm just gonna stay here at the house and chill. Then the ex-best friend come over because she got, girl, Cephas just gave me some money to go shop. You want to go? No, girl, I got something else I got to do. You should have called me earlier. I would have been able to go. All the while setting up this whole date to go to your house to, you know what? Tune in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge right here on Petty Thursday. Listen, when we come back, we're going to jump into we'll jump into a little bit of this. What do you want to jump into? Oh, I know what I want to jump into. I definitely want to jump into this schedule. I want to jump into this NFL schedule, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like the Cowboys schedule. And then we'll talk about the Texans schedule. And then we'll talk about if the Texans have an opportunity with their win-loss record to at least be, I'll let you know how many games I think they're going. You're tuning in Sports Talk with Big Sarge. We'll be back. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned into Attention to Orders. I'm your host, Big Sarge. All my Vietnam veterans, welcome home. Germany, good night. All my active duty military personnel is downrange, good night. It is now time for Big Sarge's Article 15. Come get this work on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm out. I should have been a cowboy. I should have learned the rope and ride. Oh, look, I forgot the rest of the words of the song. Welcome back. You tune in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, right here on Raise the Praise 100. Make sure you listen to us on raisethepraise100.com or download the app at Raise the Praise 100. It's Pet Tech Thursday. Before I went to the break, I told y'all about Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephas, who was dumb as a box of rocks. Yeah, I said it, and I'll stand on it. Surely will. Broke into his ex-girlfriend's house with her ex-best friend, and they're probably a couple now. I mean, if you do dirt together, you might as well be together, right? I heard that a couple that do dirt together stay together or something like that. I don't even think it goes like that. Oh, it's pray together. I should have known that. Also told you about I hate public marriage proposals because it puts entirely too much pressure on the woman. And I don't see how nobody sees that. I get put to a lot of pressure on the woman. And some of you guys, you do it as that's a weak move. That's a weak move by some of you guys to force that young lady to marry you. All right. I also told you that on yesterday, the NFL released its schedule, right? They released the schedule for the 2021 season, and they ranked the strength of schedules from 1 to 32. So I'm going to read you the top 10 teams who have the hardest schedule first. Number 1 is the Steelers. Number 2 is the Ravens. Number 3, the Bears. Number 4, the Packers. Number 5, the Vikings. Tied for 6 is the Bengals and the Lions. Number 8 is the Raiders. Number 9 is the Browns. And number 10 is the Rams. Tied for 11th is the Chiefs, who lost the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on last year. So they're 11th. Those are the notables. Kansas City Chiefs has the 11th hardest strength of schedule coming up this year. The Seahawks are tied with them. The Texans have the 15th hardest schedule in 2021. And the Cowboys have the 31st. Now, I told you I was going to talk about the Cowboys, and I will talk about the Cowboys in just a second and how I don't like the fact. I don't like their schedule at all. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But it's an interesting thing to me because I always thought that the strength of schedule was based off of your record from last year. I always thought teams who had the worst record would have the easiest schedule the next year, not the teams who had the hardest schedule or who did very well in the playoffs or who had a very good season. I never thought that they got the worst. I never thought they got the easiest schedule. And now I do understand because coming into the year, like the Steelers, right? The Steelers have the hardest schedule in 2021. Let me look at this. You have the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then in the top 10, you also have the Browns, the Cleveland Browns, and who else is in that division? Where's Baltimore? The Ravens are tied. I thought I seen the Ravens were tied. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so my bad. Let me start over. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the hardest schedule in 2021. The Baltimore Ravens have the second hardest schedule. And then you scroll a little bit down, and the Cincinnati Bengals have they're tied for 6th for the hardest schedule. And rounding out the top 10 at number 9 is the Cleveland Browns. And so that AFC North, and I get it. Like, I get it, right? I get it. Because that AFC North is very tough. Very tough. That's going to be a dogfight, especially. So here's the thing. This is how I look at it, right? When it comes to the AFC North. I look at it as the Cleveland Browns are going to win it. And I've said this, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, even before they made the trades, even before they had the draft. I just felt like the Cleveland Browns are a team who was about to go over the hump. So the Cleveland Browns will win the AFC North, but they won't win it just easily. We're going to have a dogfight with the Baltimore Ravens, who also have gotten better. And anytime you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson lead your team, that's always a chance and a possibility for you to win a division, go to a Super Bowl, but they're not going to make it easy. The Cincinnati Bengals, They do not have a great offensive line, but they have a lot of offensive weapons. And they drafted Jamar Chase, who was one of the favorite targets of Joe Burrow. So you put Joe Burrow, who won the Heisman Trophy and the national championship and all quarterback offensive awards in college. He done that with Jamar Chase. And you got Jamar Chase coming in because they're both from LSU. You have Jamar Chase coming in with he's been off a year of football, which is a good thing for him because now there's not a lot of banging. He allowed his body to heal. He allowed his body to recoup. So he's actually coming in not only as just a rookie, but a fresh rookie. And so you put them two together. And so, then you have the Steelers. I think that I honestly and truly believe that even though they got Najee Harris out of Alabama, even though they have got picked up a really good running back, Big Ben is their issue. And they don't have a great backup quarterback. So with Big Ben being their issue, which it's time for Big Ben to retire. In all honesty, it's time for him to retire. I don't know what he's hanging on to. Maybe he just don't want to go home and do chores. I don't know what it is. It took Phillip Rivers a long time to finally say I'm done. I mean, we already know why Phillip Rivers didn't want to go home. He got a daycare at the house. He got like 9 kids, I think. But it's time for Big Ben to retire too. And I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do not see the Pittsburgh Steelers competing in the AFC North. And I get it. I understand. They got a pretty good defense. They do. They have a pretty good defense. You don't know what to expect from the wide receiver core because you got one good wide receiver, and then you got Juju Smith-Schuster. You don't know if you're getting a Juju Smith-Schuster that's going to come in focus, or you're going to get the Juju Smith-Schuster that wants to do TikTok, wants to be TikTok famous, wants to be on social media and be TikTok famous. You don't know. But I do know that the AFC North is the hardest division in football. I think that the second hardest division is the NFC North. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, I think that that's a very, very, very good division. I do. I just do. So I can see why you have in the top 10, you got all 4 teams from the AFC North. I can see why you have them in, and I can see why the Steelers and the Ravens have the hardest schedule. Everybody else, I'm looking at it. I'm saying to myself, maybe. Now, before I get to the Texans, right? Before I get to the Texans schedule, I got to do this. Let me just go ahead and talk about the team that I root for. And now, hey, young Cody, I know you listening somewhere. Slim Jimmy Timmy, 4 for 4. Tiger King. I know you listening somewhere. Do you know what I just said? I said, now let me get to the Cowboys, a team that I root for. I didn't say us. I didn't say we. I didn't say none of that involved me, except the team that I root for, team that I'm a fan of, not us, not we. We is no. I don't use that word when I talk about rooting for a sports team. So there's 32 teams in the NFL. 32. Out of 32 teams, the Dallas Cowboys is ranked 31st as far as strength of schedule. The only team under them is the Eagles. Side note, this is where I was going when I was talking about the AFC North. Hey, how the Buccaneers got the 29th easiest schedule? They won the Super Bowl last year. They 29. I told you it's only 32 teams. They're ranked number 29 for the easiest schedule. So, Tom Brady may just have another path to just walk right back to another Super Bowl, huh? Maybe, maybe not. But the Dallas Cowboys have the 31st easiest schedule. Second to last, right? Second to last easiest schedule. Let me read you the games. Cowboys play the Buccaneers, the Chargers, Eagles, Panthers, Giants, Patriots, Vikings, Broncos, Falcons, Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, Washington, Giants, Washington again, Arizona, and the Eagles. So coming out the gate, they play the Buccaneers and the Chargers. Then they'll play the Eagles and the Panthers, the Giants, the Patriots, the Vikings, and the Broncos, Falcons, Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, Washington, Giants, Washington, Cardinals, Eagles. I'm going to tell you why I don't like the Cowboys schedule. Because just looking at that, that's one, they're going to win the division. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. They're going to win the division because, well, it's an easy division. That's the first thing. Like, so I'm not one of those Dallas Cowboy fans who will come on and be like, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Woo-hoo! We're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not one of those guys. This is our year. Woo! Nah, I live in reality. Cowboys don't have what it takes on the defensive side of the ball. Although that they went in the draft and picked up a lot of defensive players, they don't have what it takes on the defensive side of the ball in order to be successful this year. Now, if they can keep everything intact on the offensive side of the ball, they can keep everything intact on the offensive side of the ball, and that defensive side of the ball with another year under their belt pans out, then the second year, next year, not this season, next season, they may be good. They may be good if they can just get the new players that they have in, and some of these rookies to play up, to play up to their potential. Cowboys could be good. On the offensive side of the ball, they're getting Dak Prescott back. They're getting Tyron Smith back. They're getting Lyle Collins back. They're pretty much putting their whole offensive line back together. You got Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. You got CeeDee Lamb. You have Amari Cooper. You got Michael Gallup. On the offensive side of the ball, the Cowboys can compete with a lot of teams in the NFL. On the defensive side of the ball, it's hard for them to stop a lot of people because they just don't have a good defense, and they're trying to put it together. They got a new defensive coordinator. They got some new defensive linemen in there. They got Micah Parsons, the #1 draft pick out of Penn State, linebacker that's really good. They put together and they brought in some more defensive backs. And so they're going to be able to compete. But I don't see them winning a Super Bowl. I see them winning the division and maybe even a playoff game. I don't see them get to the NFC Championship. And look, that's just me talking right now. They haven't even played a game. There hasn't been one game played yet by the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't know. I'm just giving you, my opinion right now by just looking at the schedule. So yeah, I do see it. But what I don't like about the schedule is there's a lot of winnable games for the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of winnable games for the Dallas Cowboys on that schedule. And if they win those games, they're going to get a false sense of hope. As of right now, today, as I speak, today, looking at their schedule, I'm saying to myself, the Cowboys can compete. I don't think that they're ready to compete on an elite level yet. And if they start winning some of these games, all it's going to take is them to win 2 or 3 games in a row, right? All it's going to take for them to win is 2 or 3 games in a row. Let me look at the schedule. Let me tell you where I think that they can win. Let me tell you the 2 or 3 games I think they can win in a row. They can win. The Cowboys can start off the season losing to the Buccaneers, and that's understandable. The Buccaneers have a really good team. They're bringing pretty much all their starters back, and anytime you have a team led by Tom Brady, it isn't even his physical attributes that puts the Buccaneers over the top. It's the mental part. It's the one making the team believe in him and making the team believe in themselves. That's how they won it last year. Well, hold on, time out. That and the fact that they got a favorable call against the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. They got some favor shown to them because Bakhtiari was out. The best offensive lineman for the Packers was out. And then you go and you play the Chiefs, and they have like 3 sackers or stockers or like greeters from Walmart playing on the offensive line, and Patrick Mahomes running around for his life, 500 scramble yards, or close to 500 scramble yards. And so you look at it that way, and you're saying to yourself, Buccaneers, they got a little lucky. Back-to-back weeks of the best offensive lineman for 2 elite top 5 quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. 2 elite quarterbacks in Rodgers and Mahomes, and you going up against them with now the Buccaneers had a great defense too. The Buccaneers had a really good defense, but it gets easier when you're playing against the Packers without their best offensive lineman. And then you got to play the Chiefs, who got 3 people that may work at stop and go. Do they still have stop and goes? That's a good question. When's the last time I seen a stop and go? I thought stop and go was bought out by like Valero, and then Valero was bought out by, I have no clue. But it seems like there's just 3 people that worked at a convenience store who never played in the NFL a day in their life. And so, as I digress, I can see the Cowboys losing to the Buccaneers. But I can see the Cowboys beating the Chargers. I can see the Cowboys beating the Eagles. I can see the Cowboys beating the Panthers. I can see the Cowboys beating the Giants. I can see the Cowboys beating the Patriots. And then they have a hard game against the Vikings. And so by the time they play the Vikings, they'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. They could potentially be 5-1 before that. Do you know how much confidence that these Cowboys would have if they went 5-1 to open up the season? The first 6 games of the season, they went 5-1. ESPN, Fox Sports 1, or whatever it's called, all major sports outlets, national outlets, they run the Cowboys every day. And every day you would hear, do the Cowboys have a chance of winning the Super Bowl? Do the Cowboys have a chance of winning the Super Bowl? Do the Cowboys have a chance to win the Super Bowl? No. And that's why I don't like this schedule. Because even if they lose to the Vikings, that's 5-2. Then you come back and you got to play the Broncos, the Falcons. They could be 7-2 after that because they could beat both of those teams, right? Then they play the Chiefs. That's a loss, 7-3. Then they play the Raiders, 8-3. The Saints, 9-3. Washington, 10-3. The Giants, 11-3. Washington again, 12-3. The Cardinals, 12-4. They play the Eagles again, 13-4. The Dallas Cowboys could potentially go 13-4 this season based off the schedule. This is just Big Sarge's opinion, okay? This is just from Big Sarge. So before y'all get all upset and start being like, the Cowboys ain't gonna go 13-4, man. Who is that? Okay, they don't go 13-4. Even if they go 11-6, 12-5. You're going to build up their hopes. You're going to build up their confidence only to get to the playoffs, get a bye. Oh, they don't even get a bye. They wouldn't even get a bye, I don't think. But to get into the playoffs and lose, they don't have a chance of winning a Super Bowl, not from what I'm looking at right now. Now, things can change as the season goes on, and I look at them and I be like, okay, y'all playing a little bit better. Okay, I see the defense starting to come around. It could be. But as of right now, I don't like this schedule because it builds up too much hope and confidence, not only in the Dallas Cowboys, but in the Dallas Cowboys fans. Do you know how insufferable now I can say we. Young Cody, listen, this is when we and us comes into play. When we and us comes into play. Do you know how insufferable us, Dallas Cowboys fans are when the Cowboys are good? The Cowboys started off 5-1 throughout their first 6 games of the season. And then they end the season at 13-4, 12-5. 12-5, 13-4. You're not going to be able to tell a Dallas Cowboy fan anything. And now guess what they're going to be saying? We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. We beat everybody. We can beat anybody. And la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. We can beat anybody. And you can't. I wish that they would have given the Dallas Cowboys a harder schedule. That way you can actually look at it and say, okay, I can see a reasonable, this and this or that and that. But if you're looking at it, the hardest test that they're going to have is the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Vikings. What else did I say? Hold on, let me pull the schedule right. The Cardinals. They can beat the Saints. They can beat the Broncos. They can beat the Raiders. But if the Cowboys only lose 4 games to the Bucks, the Cardinals, the Vikings, and the Chiefs, you're not going to be able to tell them anything. And I'm pretty sure Jerry's looking at that same schedule like, well, you know what? all we really need to do is win out. Let's see, out of the first 6 games, we'll go 4-2, and I'll have ESPN calling me every day, all day, wanting interviews from everybody. Hmm. Oh yeah, merchandise is going out the door. Yeah, yeah. I don't look. What are we 4-2? Yeah, I don't even care if we lose all the rest of the game. We're just gonna. I'm gonna come out here every week and say we competed hard, and then we'll be better next week, and then we're gonna make you all purchase more stuff, more paraphernalia. I hate that schedule, but I'm a fan. And young Cody, we gonna watch. Meaning Dallas Cowboy fans, us is we gonna watch. We're about to take a break. When we come back, Texas fans, let me just say, I love y'all. I mean, that's probably about the most positive thing that I can say about the upcoming season and looking at your schedule. I love y'all. Is that tune in Sports Talk with Big Sarge? We'll be back. With these socks.